Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Afam Osigwe, joins us now to have a look at this development. Thank you very much for coming to Newsnight.
Thanks for having me.
Now, when you look at Kano State, you think Kano has been held for years by Rabi Kwankwaso. What's beginning to happen to the Kwankwaso movement? Because his party has been able to install a governor. So why the noise about bribing the judiciary to ensure justice?
Well, I think it's a cause for concern when a judge is member of an election petition tribunal makes a public statement that some lawyers who are involved in the matter before the tribunal are making an attempt to bribe them or to financially induce them. And so that would cause apprehension in the mind of the citizenry. The unfortunate thing about the allegation is that it does not give any indication whether it is counsel to the petitioner or the respondent. So it creates room for crisis where each party alleges that it is the other person trying to influence the tribunal. And then again, people can capitalize on it to embark on protest, have unrest, which may break down the security of the state. So it calls for worry. And as a lawyer for me too, it also puts some question mark on the lawyers appearing before them, because everybody looks like if, oh, it could be you, or it could be you. But if the allegation was specific, maybe it would have really helped in this situation.
And how might these allegations impact the integrity and the work of the tribunal?
Well, you can look at it both ways, or I mean in two ways. Now, it gives the impression that attempts are being made to influence the judges, but they are resisting it. Or at least one of the judges who spoke out. I do not know that any other judge has spoken out. It also gives the impression that people may keep making an attempt to influence it, and it's about perception. And that if ultimately those who are making this attempt succeed in bribing any of the judges, then that justice may have been procured, not based on the facts and the law, but based on the financial inducement. So they thought that lawyers would want to induce the tribunal to give a rather judgment in their favor. Erodes the process of the type of confidence you would expect to have on it. That attempt could be made in itself is very worrisome. But it's not suggestive that any of the persons may succumb to the inducement.
And the Nigerian Bar Association is seeking an audience with the judge to uncover those who have allegedly involved in these bribery attempts. What are some of the roles the legal profession can play in addressing such allegations to ensure transparency in judicial processes?
I think that's one of such, because when a blanket allegation is made that lawyers are attempting to bribe judges, I think the NBA has a role to play in seeking to find out which particular lawyer has done this, so that that lawyer will be singled out for disciplinary action. But when it remains a blanket allegation, it makes every lawyer who appears before that, who falls into the category of those alleged to have made the attempt, to be suspect, and that doesn't all go well for the judiciary. So NBA also will, in protecting the integrity of the judiciary, to ensure that the judges determine cases before them based on their merit, not as a result of fear of any favor done to any person who may have a one way or the other induced them to give judgment in his or her favor. So I think the NBA is playing a role, and also as a watchdog, because the NBA is a critical stakeholder, and when actions are alleged to take place which will impinge on the integrity of the legal profession, and indeed the judiciary, NBA has a role to play in ensuring that such allegations don't just go away like that, so it doesn't go hanging on the lawyers and make it appear as if, well, oh, it's one of those things, not very important, NBA shouldn't be bothered about them.
Now, let me take you back to the point you made earlier, that it's even worrisome that an attempt could be made in the first place.
It is.
And what does that say? Because this is not the first time we hear about allegations like this of people trying to bribe the lawyers and the judges. Now, how did we get here in the first place, where you hear allegations of people having the confidence to even attempt bribing the judges?
Well, let me say that there are evidence in the past of lawyers actually influences judges who are members of the tribunal, because some judges have in the past been recommended for dismissal both at the High Court level and the Court of Appeal level. So it's not as if this hasn't happened before. It's not as if such attempts may not have succeeded, or may not in some cases succeed without coming into the public glare, as it were. So the fact that people would always believe that what lawyers do in court is not important, that is what people do behind the scenes, that the ability to influence those who render this judgment that is important, speaks a lot about our regard for due process of law, for the independence of the judiciary, and how low our morals and the ethics of the profession is falling, where some people also, where even politicians themselves, without even going through their lawyers on their own, try to influence these judges to give judgment in their favor.
Now, how low, you talk about influencing judges, how low have you fallen, influencing judges and all that, but then if there is no consequence, people tend to just keep perpetuating the wrongs. What are the likely punishments?
That's why the
anyway?
chairman of the NBA Kano branch commendably is insisting on behalf of the NBA Kano branch, and indeed I believe he speaks for all of us, that the identity of the person or persons who try to bribe these judges be unmasked, so that the disciplinary action can be taken against them, so that actions will have consequences. Because part of our problem in Nigeria that actions don't have consequences. People don't suffer for their misdeed. We're not interested in prosecuting people. We paper over the cracks and we sweep things under the carpet. And so many things go wrong, and it appears we're a society of anything goes. So standards mean nothing.
And what are the specific repercussions for such an individual who attempts to bribe or influence a judge?
Now, if it's proven that an individual, a lawyer, a legal practitioner in this instance, has tried to bribe judges, it could give rise to disciplinary action, which may lead to disbarment, to his license to be in practice, or being withdrawn, or suspension, depending on what the legal practitioner disciplinary committee decides. It could also give rise to criminal prosecution, because that in itself is also a crime, trying to induce judges or procure a judgment, by financially induce judges to give judgment in one's favor or one's client's favor.
Thank you very much indeed for coming to this night. We just hope that someday we have the judiciary that we all can trust, and then all these allegations can be put to rest. Thank you very much indeed, Afam Osigwe, for coming to this night.